Flight attendants share what you should not do on airplanes. Wondering what a day in the life of a flight attendant on certain airlines is like? Or what it's like for a stewardess to serve people on first class? Anyone who has worked in a customer service role knows that people can be unruly, and the taxing nature of traveling can truly bring out the worst of them. We contacted a few flight attendants to find out what passengers regularly do that make their job a nightmare in the sky. Before we begin this video, make sure you subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss out on all of our awesome life hacks, tips, and tricks from your #1 bestie. And make sure to tell your friends about our channel so they can join in on the fun. Now, keep watching for things that flight attendants on airlines think their passengers should stop doing. Number 21, touching. Words are all you need to get a flight attendant's attention, regardless of airline. But many stewardesses complain that passengers will grab their sleeve or coat when they want something. Raise your hand or be vocal, but there is no need to touch an air hostess when they are passing by. Number 20, lingering in the galley. Flight attendants don't mind if you need something and save them the trip by coming to the galley, but don't just hang around there. The galley tends to be the only space the cabin crew has to themselves, and they need a break too, yet still, many state that passengers will come back there to waste time. Did you know that flight attendants hate when certain passengers do something with their shoes? Well, if you're wondering what that certain something is, keep watching until the very end. Number 19, misdirected anger. Flights get delayed all of the time, and the cabin crew has absolutely nothing to do with that. However, many passengers tend to project their frustrations on the attendants, which is like getting angry at a server for not liking your meal. There's nothing wrong with asking if an air hostess has any further information or who they can contact to complain, but there's no point of directing your anger at them when it's something they can't control. Number 18, ignoring the rules. The rules are there for a reason, and it's not to inconvenience anyone, but to keep them safe. Still, many flight attendants find that passengers will simply ignore the rules, which only makes things needlessly difficult for everyone else. If every passenger follows the rules, the flight will be a much more pleasant experience. Keep watching as we continue to count down the top things that flight attendants think all passengers, yes, even those flying in first class, should stop doing. Number 17, ordering hot drinks on short flights. Tea and hot chocolate are popular choices when flying, but if you're on a flight that's less than an hour, it's not worth it for your air hostess. Service starts 15 minutes after takeoff, and the cabin crew must remove all of the drinks and service items 15 minutes before landing. This doesn't leave much time in between to make a hot drink and drink one on a short flight. Due to this, many flight attendants say they end up collecting these drinks full. Number 16, touching the trolley. Many passengers feel like they can either grab things from the trolley or put things in when it's passing by their seat. The trolleys are organized in a specific way to ensure optimal work efficiency for the flight attendant, so perturbing this only results in inconvenience. Number 15, legs in the aisle. Just because you're traveling the world, it doesn't mean that you have the right to extend your legs anywhere you want. While stretching your legs when you're on a long flight is fine, leaving them extended into the aisle is not. Flight attendants have to regularly go up and down the aisles, and having to repeatedly tell a passenger to move their leg isn't fun for anyone. This is another major thing that flight attendants think all passengers should stop doing. Number 14, misinterpreting the landing announcement. When an air hostess makes the landing announcement, it's not the last-minute bathroom use warning, it's a landing warning. Still, many passengers will storm to the lavatory once the announcement has been made, even though they had the entire flight to do so. Number 13, personal grooming. Everyone does this, even people who are on first class, and even the most expensive of airlines. There's a specific time and a place to do things like cut your finger or toenails, and an airplane is not one of them. However, apparently, a lot of passengers don't know that because many flight attendants have witnessed passengers shamelessly clipping away mid-flight while on the job. Number 12. Passing off parental responsibilities. Flying with kids on airlines isn't easy, but just because the cabin crew is around doesn't mean you get to get rid of yourself of that responsibility. Multiple flight attendants have admitted that parents will ask them to tell their kids to behave and fasten their seatbelts for them. This is not part of the job description. Even if you're in first class, it doesn't mean that a stewardess should take over your parenting job for you. Number 11. Boarding the airline thirsty or hungry. One of the things that flight attendants think all passengers should stop doing is getting on airplanes when you're hungry or thirsty. It's fair to want a drink or snack during your flight, but many flight attendants find it irritating when passengers board airplanes already thirsty and hungry. There are always a number of food or drink options in the airport, so why wait until you board where the options will be inevitably less choice-friendly? Number 10. Discourteous aromas. Aircrafts are enclosed spaces, which is why you should avoid using things that have heavy scents out of respect for your fellow passengers. However, flight attendants have experienced everything from passengers using nail polish to spraying perfume on airplanes, which isn't a pleasant experience for anyone in the surrounding area. Number 9. Traveling unprepared. There are always going to be first-time flyers, and flight attendants are more than happy to show those people the ropes, but passengers seem to still board airplanes completely unprepared. The cabin crew recommends that everyone travel with a refillable water bottle, a few snacks, and a pen. Number 8. Having to use the bathroom immediately after boarding. There can be a lot of downtime when waiting for a flight, which means that there's really no excuse to have to use the bathroom as soon as you enter an aircraft. There's nothing luxurious about the lavatory, and passengers would be much better off using much more spacious airport facilities. Number 7. Passengers not checking their bags when they really should. Carry-on bags are fine, but some passengers can make things needlessly complicated when they decide to lug more than they can possibly carry or fit on an aircraft. There's a certain point where you should check your bags to make everyone's life, including yours, much easier. Number 6. Talking with headphones still on. Most people naturally take their headphones off when conversing with someone else, but many flight attendants have found themselves having to repeat themselves after a passenger asks a question because they just keep their headphones on. Not only is this rude, it's wasting everyone's time. Number 5. Wasting time while ordering. Flight attendants can tend to each and every passenger in a timely fashion if the orders are relayed properly. However, many find that passengers will ask questions that they could easily answer if they open the menu in front of them, or they don't specify how they take their coffee when ordering. Number 4. Expecting flight attendants to know everything the captain does. Sure, flight attendants will have a better idea of what's going on in a lot of situations compared to the passenger given their experience flying. However, they don't ever have all the information the captain does and shouldn't be expected to be able to answer all the questions coming from the curious passengers. Number 3. Making demands right after boarding. There are a lot of rules flight attendants have to follow during the boarding process to ensure safety, which can be the most hectic part of the journey. Yet many passengers will make demands immediately after boarding, when most of the things could be solved in the airport before getting on airplanes. Number 2. Ringing the call button for trivial needs. The call button is there for a reason, and flight attendants are happy to oblige to any passenger's needs. But many take advantage of the truly unnecessary reasons to use it. According to Business Insider, this is one of the most annoying things that passengers do, This is especially frustrating when someone uses the button after the announcement has been made that the cabin crew has to be seated. Now, here is something that flight attendants hate, and it has something to do with feet and shoes. Number 1. Passengers taking their shoes off. Foot swelling is a common problem for a lot of passengers while flying, which makes it understandable that some feel the need to take their shoes off. However, many flight attendants admit that passengers walking around barefoot without socks is something that drives them nuts. Not only is it rude to other passengers, it's also pretty unsanitary, considering an airplane carpet gets vacuumed regularly but rarely washed. So you see, traveling the world isn't as amazing as you might think. A day in the life of a flight attendant can be pretty brutal at times, which is why there are all sorts of different things they think passengers should stop doing. Are you guilty of committing any of the things in this video? Let us know about some of the most annoying things you've experienced while on a flight as a passenger or a stewardess by commenting below. Enjoyed this video? Hit the like button and share with your friends. Also, subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. Thanks for watching.